There is numerous things to consider when placing library parts, and most of them have to deal with placing it with the fewest amount of mouse clicks. So I'm just going to grab an object, and first of all, finding an object, make sure you remember that there's a find library parts there. So let's just find a toilet, push find, there we have all our toilets. Just going to choose this toilet at the moment. Now over here we have a number of hotspots that we can place a library part from. So if I wanted to place this library part against this wall here, it would be the easiest thing to turn this around here, place it from the middle. That way when I place it, it just goes to the right spot. The other consideration is if I'm using that hotspot, if I let my mouse rest over the wall, a little halfway marker comes up. So that should marry up with where the toilet goes. The other thing you can do is use gravity to slab. Over here I've got gravity. Now if I click on gravity to slab and I place the toilet here, once again we see the halfway marker come up, and these toilets are at different heights, which is hard to tell just by looking at that floor plan. So by putting gravity to slab, we can see that one's higher, that one's lower. So if I zoom out of there, close that up, just so you know where those special snap points are, that's this icon here. I can either have it half, divisions, or between intersect points. Usually when you're trying to put an object halfway within a room, you would use this intersect points. For example, if I had another wall coming out from here, if I wanted to place a toilet halfway between this wall here, if I touch while I'm on the special snap points and while I've got the between intersection points selected, if I touch the wall on this side, it gives me the halfway marker there. But of course if I click here, the toilet will go down incorrectly, because it'll be oriented the same way it was before. So if I move my mouse to the other side of the wall, of course the halfway marker comes up here. I can also change that to divisions, percentage, distance, and entire element. So if I touch the outside, there's my halfway special snap point, but if I touch this side, it comes up halfway between the room. The next thing I need to do is double click there, and now I should probably swing it around there and still leave it on that special snap point and click into there. Similarly, if I was going to put it along here, I'd open the object again, flick it around once again. I'm still on gravity to slab, and I can put it up here. If you want to adjust those special snap points, go to the View, Dialog, and go to Special Snap Points, and if you click on Set Special Snap Values, this palette opens up and you can change that divisions to anything you like, and percentages and distances to anything you like. Once you push OK, that will be reflected in the Special Snap drop down. Another example of placing an object very efficiently is when you place parametric objects. For example, here we have a bullnose roof that has various parameters where you can change the roof pitch, change the miter on the left and right, spacing of rafters, and also spacing of posts. So I'm just going to change this down to 500 just for the point of the exercise, and I'll push OK. And because I've selected it from the bottom corner there, if I click here once, we'll notice that it places the veranda exactly as it appears in the dialog box. But if I push Ctrl Z or Apple Z and delete it and change to this construction method, I can left mouse click once, go to the end of the building, click once again, and drag out the distance that I want it. So I might type in 1800, push enter. So now we have, instead of clicking 5 or 6 times, we've clicked 3 times and it's placed correctly. And there it is there. The gravity tool can become particularly valuable when you place things on the roof. For example, if I was to look up a gutter, and let's just say we chose this gutter, I'm going to place it around like that. We can change all the parameters if we like, but I'm just going to push OK. Once again, I'm going to place it using this geometry method where I can rotate and stretch as I place, and I'm going to put gravity to roof this time. All we have to make sure that we do is that when placing the object, we left mouse click on the roof, and when I drag out along the roof line and I click once more to finish placing the object, this particular object hasn't let me place it in one move, so I'm just going to select one of the hotspots and drag it along, and I can also move the clips via using the hotspots. So now if I go to the 3D window, we can see that that has been placed in the right height, and I can probably grab these clips here and move these in 3D as well. By selecting this icon here, I can move the clips around like that. Also, if I find a downpipe, for example, and push OK, and just place that anywhere on the floor plan, if I go to my 3D window, I can actually complete placing it here. If I rotate around so I can see what I want, I can actually drag that up to when there's a tick there, that's a hot spot in there, then I can drag it by selecting this icon, drag it along and line it up with that hot spot. Once I get a tick there, once again, that should be lined up and at the right height. So we can even place our library parts quite effectively in the 3D window.